Hello, I'm Keith Kreischer, the Executive Director of the IoT M2M Council, or IMC. I'm here at CES 2024 with Cory Dixon, who is a Senior Sales Engineer at Hologram, a major player in the IoT ecosystem. Cory, welcome. Happy New Year.
Thank you very much. Nice to meet you.
Let's start easy. Talk to us about Hologram. You know, what is your role in the IoT ecosystem as a company? Talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I appreciate that. So Hologram is a global cellular connectivity provider, and we look to empower the innovators to be able to connect to their devices, any type of device really, that's IoT based, to a cellular connectivity partner anywhere in the world. So we provide coverage in over 180 countries on over 400 different carriers. But we also have a unique existence within the EUICC. So all of our solutions are EUICC based. So that allows us to, even if we're using a triple plastic SIM card that you would normally think of and inserting into a device, all the way down to the embedded or the iSIMs, is that we have that software and the infrastructure in place to manage those profiles and those SIM cards. And basically your connectivity model once the devices are deployed in the field. So we can do over-the-air updates and maintain them. Our other benefit that Hologram brings to the bear is how do you manage fleets? When you start talking deploying devices, it's easy to deploy a few hundred. You can manage those, but how do you start scaling that up and managing thousands of devices? So we bring a dashboard into play that helps you look at your fleet perspective, the usage you're billing, and have a really single pane of glass to understand what your devices are doing at the device level, all the way up to hundreds of thousands of devices in a fleet scale.
We were talking about it earlier, how scaling is a big problem in the industry.
Scaling is one of the challenges in the industry. Is that, again, not only how do you scale on your manufacturing, but how do you scale on your markets and now your reach? And that's one of the solutions we provide, is that you don't have to worry about the next market you're going into in terms of coverage. You know you're going to have coverage, there's going to be multiple carriers there. So it's one less thing you have to worry about when you're trying to scale.
Great stuff. You at Hologram have been working on a new innovation designed to end IoT outages. Are outages a major problem in the industry?
You wouldn't normally think of it, but an outage in the IoT industry can be devastating to a business itself. As an example, the easiest one that I can come up with is there are a lot of point-of-sale devices like emerging markets where the point-of-sale device itself is connected over a cellular connection. So if you're that business owner, there's a small business shop, and you're trying to scan a credit card, but that cellular connectivity is not there, you're losing revenue. And so now if you take that on a bigger scale and you're talking about thousands of devices being offline, that can really be a major cost and revenue impact to your business.
No doubt.
So they're a big enough problem where even the major companies out there, T-Mobile, Verizon, they have outages. So this is something that does happen in the industry, and it happens more often than what companies really want to tell you about. So that's what we're trying to solve, is how do we acknowledge that there are problems, that there are outages out there, and how do we deliver a solution that our customers can have reliable confidence that they're going to be connected and that their device can generate revenue.
Talk to us about your product, the dual core SIM. How does it help minimize the risk and the impact of outages?
Yeah, so what we're bringing to the market and we're announcing at CES is our dual core SIM. What that is a SIM that provides multiple profiles on it that are completely independent core networks. And so the idea is that if one of those profiles connects to a tower or that tower goes out, most providers can switch to a different carrier and different tower. But now if you go a little farther back and say the infrastructure of that carrier goes down, one of their main cables or internet pathways is cut, and what just happened recently internationally, what does your device do now? If it switches the carriers, it doesn't mean it necessarily is going to a different pathway. So with the dual core SIM, what we're bringing to bear is that everything about that profile is completely redundant. The billing pathway, the data pathway, the registration pathways, they're all independent of each other. So that even if one major carrier goes out, say Verizon goes out on your local city, what does your device can do? Well, on the SIM level, it'll fall back and go to a different profile. And so now you can connect to AT&T, but not just connect to a different tower. That data is over a completely different infrastructure. And if you take that on a global scale, the chances of two different providers being down at the same time is relatively low. So we're using that statistic there that, well, okay, if you can't connect here, connect on this one, but not just a billing difference, a complete infrastructure and pathway difference.
Wow. Can you explain the technology behind the dual core SIM? How does it work?
Yeah, so on our SIMs, whether it's the embedded SIM or a triple cut SIM, is we have our software that's being installed. It's an applet that talks to the modem and works with the modem to understand the connectivity. And so the modem is providing reports to that software of, am I connected? How long have I not been connected? How many times have I tried to connect? And it uses that information to determine, obviously the modem can't connect. And so it's working with the modem to understand that connectivity model, and then after a certain timeout or a certain number of counts, and those are configurable items depending on your business model and what we need to accomplish there, but then that SIM will switch over and now you have a different core network. So that software, that capability really just lives on the SIM, and it's installed at manufacturing time, but it really provides us a way to manage those, again, over-the-air capabilities and do different profiles where we can do a direct with Verizon and a multi-carrier as a fallback, or we can do, if you're a Canadian-based company, we can do Telus as a direct and Verizon as a fallback if you might cross the border. So it really allows us to not only solve the outages problem, but customize our solution as well to your business use case.
You guys at Hologram like to talk about guaranteed connectivity. What does that mean exactly?
So we are going to, because we believe in this dual core solution so much, we are going to financially guarantee companies a rebate if we don't meet our uptime requirements.
Wow.
And so if your devices are offline for longer than what we tell you they will be, then we will provide not only a cost rebate of the data you didn't use, but a financial impact back to your business. We understand that your business isn't, you're paying for that data, but that data is generating your revenue. So we're acknowledging that, and we're going to provide contractually guaranteed financial rebates if your devices have outages.
Are there specific types of industries or companies that should be looking at dual core technology?
Yeah, and as much as I hate that generic answer, all of them. But really, we're really trying to focus on those devices and those companies that the revenue, the device being down means loss of revenue immediately. So the point of sale type of devices where you need that credit card transaction to go through. Micro-mobility is another great example where when a client walks up to, a user walks up to the scooter and uses their credit card, you need that scooter to unlock. And so if you're having an outage, there's revenue there. So we're really looking much more for those real-time use cases that revenue is immediately being generated, as opposed to kind of more what you'd think in IoT is a sensor in the field that might collect data and then store it forward and might collect it all day long and then try to upload it at night. So those type of use cases still have a very important fallback capability, and that, again, if you have a local outage, you still want the device to connect. But our target market is much more those that are generating revenue in the real-time sense.
Great stuff. We're here at CES, so I would be amiss if I didn't ask about the iSIM. There's a lot of talk about that here at the show. What's your take on iSIM technology?
Yeah, we think iSIM is a great innovative technology, but it's not necessarily ready, in our opinion, for full deployment at scale yet. So part of the problems with iSIM right now is generally a single carrier solution. You're going to get a one provider with that iSIM. And so that one provider may not be in your target market yet. They may not be able to have that robust connectivity in there. What it is beneficial at is reducing part counts, reducing cost. There's some physical security that comes with that chip now being built into a bigger chip. So there is some great innovation coming with that. And we do see that this is the next kind of technology leap after the embedded SIM, the eSIM. But for us, we still think it's a little early in the market to really be divesting your energy into trying to deploy fleets, but you should definitely be aware of it and be ready to move over to that technology once it finishes kind of the early growth stages.
Right. Cory Dixon of Hologram, an influential player in the IoT ecosystem. Cory, thanks so much for spending the time.
Thanks for your time. Nice to meet you.